All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Derrick James, the trainer of ERROL Spence Jr., who let people know exactly what his plan was to deal with one of the more difficult aspects of Terence Crawford. And man, let me tell you, it was absolutely hilarious and simple at the same time. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where one of the big questions have been answered by Derrick James, trainer of ERROL Spence Jr., about their strategy for Terence Crawford in a big fight that is coming up on July 29th. And it is about what they're going to do about Terence Crawford switching. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does make a huge difference to the channel. All right, so basically, look, let's talk about this because as we going into this fight that takes place on July 29th, there's a lot of talk about Terence Crawford and the difficulties that Terence Crawford is going to have or will cause on ERROL Spence Jr. And we haven't really before now gotten a lot of specificity out of Derrick James about what they're going to do about some of the problems that Terence Crawford has always caused people that he got into the ring with. And the big one is that Terence Crawford is somebody that switches stances and will fight you as an orthodox fighter or a southpaw fighter. Orthodox fighter, for people that don't know, or the people that is a right-handed fighter. And in boxing, a right-handed fighter will have their left hand in front and use that to jab, and their right hand will be in the back. A southpaw is a left-handed fighter where they have their right hand in front and they use their right-handed jab, but their power hand, which is behind, is their left hand. And ERROL Spence Jr. is a southpaw whose hand is in the back, and Terence Crawford is a natural right-hander who will do both. And so Derrick James was asked about it, and he said a very simple solution to it about how they prepare. He said that, one, he'll have a southpaw in the camp. That's obvious, right? You spar southpaws so that you see that angle, and that particular fighter who's sparring with you imitates the person that you're going to fight. You execute the game plan that you have for him as a southpaw, against that sparring partner. And then he said, we bring in an orthodox sparring partner, and we will do an orthodox guy as well, and prepare that way. Same way he did with the southpaw sparring partner, right? Those things make sense, right? Also, same thing that Terence Crawford has done by bringing in Shakur Stevenson, the former unified 130-pounder and 126-pound fighter that fights over on Top Rank, that is pretty much on everybody's top 10 pound for pound list. Very, very good fighter out of New Jersey, to come in and spar, Olympic silver medalist, to come in and spar with Terence Crawford. He also had a really big middleweight southpaw who had shots at world championships before, in Willie Monroe, who lost to Gennady Golovkin some years back. So you bring in the sparring partners, but the simple answer that he gave was, when it doesn't matter if you're a southpaw or an orthodox fighter, because straight body shots land the same way against an orthodox guy or a southpaw guy. So, and it makes perfect sense, because with your body, you're really not focusing as much on the head. You're focusing on the torso, and the torso really, it only will move at a slightly different angle than you'll get if then different than like if you're up here aiming at his head and you're looking at what his shoulders are doing, because at the top your shoulders will pivot more. It's a more extreme angle. The difference is a more extreme angle when you're aiming at the upper body or the head, if you're head hunting. But if you're trying to go for the body, then it shouldn't make that much difference because the body is right there. It's a lot smaller of a shift of angle when you're going at the body. So very, very simple explanation that he gave. Very, very straightforward. Don't think that can possibly be anybody that would argue that isn't the smart way to go about it. And that's not a way that Errol Spence Jr. fights all the time, regardless. I don't see Errol Spence Jr. switching up a lot of things going into the fight. Interesting conversation though, man. I probably should have done it in the last video that I did. There was another prediction that was made by Freddie Roach, which I just think is really bizarre. Well, it's not bizarre. It's a funny thing about boxing is that a lot of people are picking people because they like the guy or because they know the guy. Because they're friends with the guy, and putting it out is like a legitimate like analysis of what is going to happen in the fight. And Freddie Roach is somebody that just came out and said, "Hey man, I picked Terence Crawford to win because I know the guy, I like the guy." Right? And then he talked about obviously, and then he said Errol Spence Jr. has had a hard time over the last year, and I was like, wow, man. The closer we get to this fight, the less certain people's predictions for this fight are. I think a lot of people really did get super excited about Terence Crawford during the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies that took place last year. And there was like a series of people that really put their names behind them. A lot of these guys are doing it though because they're friends with them and they like them. My thing for the fight is I think that is going to be a good fight. I think that the fight really, both of these guys have a significant chance of winning the fight. I don't think it's a blowout type of thing for either one of them as far as like their skill set, but the difficulty is going to is related to what Derrick James is saying as far as the body attack on Errol, because Terence Crawford is, if you listen to what Sean Porter says he needs to do, which is punch in between punches, he's going to have a lot of opportunity to punch in between punches because there's a lot of punches coming at him. However, he's not going to have a lot of time to set up and really get Errol Spence Jr. in a situation where he's dictating and making Errol Spence Jr. do things that Errol Spence Jr. doesn't, that he really doesn't want to do, right? So it's just going to be very, very interesting how this fight goes. How this fight goes. Some people are saying on one side of it that they think that Errol's just going to run through him, and it's going to be like round 6 or round 7 that the fight is, going to be over with. I think it's going to go the distance, and I got Errol Spence Jr. winning. I got Errol Spence Jr. winning by a decision. I don't really think that it's a scenario where you're going to see somebody really get blown out, unless that is, there's some things about Terence Crawford that people thought that wind up coming true, which is that, look, man, this guy's not fought the top level of competition like some people want to act like he has. He's fought guys that, even the good names that he's fought later in their career when those guys had already lost and really didn't have a lot of fight left in them. And at smaller weight classes over there with Top Rank, where they did a lot of matchmaking. But I'm going to say this again and again, just because there's smoke and mirrors there doesn't mean there ain't a monster waiting in the cave. You know what I mean? He very well may be everything that they say he is and everything that you guys think he is. But this would be his opportunity to show it. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.